Hey, what's going on, guys? In today's video, I essentially just wanted to talk about the upcoming Off-White Air VaporMaxes. And now, we've already seen the initial VaporMax release, but now we're actually starting to see some more colorways in the 10 release, which I am extremely excited about. Now, we've already spoken about on this channel about the Jordan 1 Off-Whites that are also coming out in February, but in today's video, we're just going to be focusing on the Off-White VaporMaxes, and there are two of them, so gives us a better chance of copying them. I do think they will be releasing on the same day, but the day is not confirmed yet. Now, in today's video, we'll be talking about some release info for them. We'll also be talking about some details on the shoe, as well as how to cop them, as that's what everyone cares about, right? And of course, I'll also talk about some resale predictions for those of you who might not like the shoe, but you might need some extra money to pick up a Grail or something like that. But personally, guys, I think every single shoe so far that I've seen from Virgil Abloh with the Off-White and Nike collaboration has just been really nice looking, and I really plan on getting a pair for myself, so I do not plan on reselling these. But without anything further ado, I'm not trying to waste your time. Let's get right into the release info. So like I said, these will be releasing in February of 2018, so yeah, it's right around the corner, and we don't have a confirmed date as of now, and obviously it could change from February to another month. That's definitely possible. If you ask me, I think a potential date could be February 24th, because I do believe that is what is most likely going to be the release date for the Jordan 1 Off-Whites. And if you remember the previous 10, they all released on the same day. So I do think it's a strong possibility. If you're wondering, where can I buy this shoe, Keith? Where can I obtain this fire? Well, if you want to obtain it, the Sneakers app is going to have it. In fact, I'd be willing to bet money that the Sneakers app will have it, although it's not confirmed yet. If you go on the Sneakers app and you're trying to look for it, it's not going to be there yet, obviously. It doesn't update till like very close to the release date. If you're asking me what time they're going to be releasing, I'm actually not sure yet. Now, we see a lot of times it's 10 a.m. Eastern time on the Sneakers app. However, the Off-White and Nike collaboration is a little different. In the past, we saw the 10 released periodically throughout the day. I do believe the first was actually at 12 or 12:30 p.m. Eastern time. So we don't know what time they're going to be releasing. There is a strong possibility that we'll get both of these on the same date, as well as the Jordan 1 Off-White in the all-white colorway. So it's just a possibility. I'm putting it out there, but nothing is confirmed as of now. So far, what is known is it's most likely February. And if you were wondering the retail price of these shoes, it is going to be $250. And if you're a little skeptical of that price, you don't feel like paying that, well, I can assure you, don't worry. Don't stress about a thing, because if you say, you know what, $250 is a little too much to me, well, you can always resell it. We'll get into the resale evaluations a little later right now, because I really just wanted to briefly talk about the aesthetics of the shoe, some differences that we've seen, because I feel like it's important to acknowledge the work that Virgil puts into these sneakers. I think there's so much effort involved, and I feel like we really should take a quick look at it. Now, looking at the details on the shoe, we see tons of similarities. For instance, there's those subtle details, that of which I love about Virgil's work. For instance, we have the shoelaces in quotation marks on top of the shoelaces, basically illustrating Virgil's use of his irony, which I actually love. And in addition to that, we got that foam tongue. We also have inside-out stitching on the swoosh, which it gives the shoe that prototype feel. And to be quite honest, I really do think it's a unique aspect of the shoe. Now, you might be thinking, what's the point of releasing another black one? Well, if you guys look closely, Virgil is all about details, right? So if you look closely at the black one, there are some significant changes that you could take note of. For instance, the air bubble. It is not a solid black. It is actually more of a blue tint, closer to a clear in comparison to the previous one, where that one was just completely blacked out. Additionally, the upper is mostly black in comparison to the last one that released, which was sort of a grayish black, but this still is not completely black, which I don't mind at all. I still think it's a beautiful shoe. And one of the most important things that I noticed that is going to be different on these, the writing on the swoosh on the inside of the shoe is actually sort of distorted. It's kind of warped. There's different shades of it. I'm not exactly sure what went into the decision making for that part of the shoe. I'm not going to question it. It looks fine to me. So Virgil could do his thing. But one major thing that I took notice of, on the insole of the shoe, it still says the 10. So obviously, when we hear the 10, the 10 doesn't just mean the 10 shoes that we got on the initial release, or the 9 shoes we got on the initial release in addition to those Chuck Taylors. No, the 10 just simply means 10 of Nike shoes, 10 of the Nike silhouettes that Virgil chose to design on. So this is something to really take note of, because if we're seeing that this also has the 10 inside of it, that means we might in fact be getting more colorways of every single silhouette in the future. So now, of course, you might be wondering, Keith, how do I get this shoe? I love the way this shoe looks. It looks so amazing to me. How do I get this shoe? I need this shoe. Or maybe you're saying, I wanna make some money today. How do I resell this shoe? How do I obtain it? Well, here's the thing. The one thing to keep in mind is that there are going to be raffles for this shoe. Now, we don't know any raffles yet. We don't know what other stores are going to be getting them yet. However, I would advocate checking out Soul Links. You could subscribe to their mailing list, and I would suggest checking them out as we get closer to the release date. They are always posting great information, guys. They are really, really reliable when it comes to all online raffles that you could sign up for, as well as in-store pickup raffles that you could sign up for. So I would definitely check out Soul Links. But right now, we don't know exactly what raffles are going to be having them. And if you're like me, who has no luck with raffles whatsoever, like for the Levi's Jordan 4s, signed up for tons of raffles, tons of entries, just all L's. So if you're like me and you're not really the luckiest person, well, the Sneakers app and website is for you. And the reason I'm telling you this is because I actually have a strategy that worked for me on the CR7s. That was the first time I actually implemented this jig, and it actually worked for me. I got a pair of the CR7s because of this. If I had not tried this, it wouldn't have worked. And the reason I'm saying this is because I had 6 accounts running, and it was my 5th account that got them. If I only went on one account, I would have lost. So you're wondering, whoa. How do you have 6 accounts? Well, essentially, all I had to do was use the multiple people jig, which I taught you guys how to do multiple times in previous episodes. Now, I'm not going to explain it here because my subscribers are tired of hearing it. I mention it way too often. So I'm just going to say, check out any of these videos if you don't know what the multiple people jig is. And you don't even have to use the multiple people jig if you don't want to. You could just use 7 different devices. But if you only have one computer, you're going to have to use the multiple people jig. I'll also give you some additional tips to try, because along with the multiple people jig, you do need to know these things. For instance, when you're making more accounts, you must make sure that the phone number you put in is completely different. It cannot be the same phone number. So you're saying, well, Keith, I only got one phone number. You expect me to have like 10 phones? Don't worry, guys. You legit only need the verification code once to sign in. So just ask a friend, hey man, you care if I use your phone number for something and you just send me over a code? Just text it to me real quick. Most likely they'll be fine with it, so that's what you need. An extra phone number, and in addition to the phone number, you also need another email address, and that's pretty simple. It's not hard at all to make another email address. So that's one tip. In addition to that, I would also advocate, well, actually not even just advocate, I would say this is a priority. You need to fill out your address and your payment info on every single account you have beforehand. And so you're gonna need your address already filled in, you're gonna need your payment info already filled in. Now, I've personally never gotten more than 1 pair of shoes shipped to my address from the Sneakers app. I know it works fine for Adidas, but I don't know if one would get canceled. I doubt both will get canceled. Perhaps both of them will ship to you fine. So if you were wondering if I use the same address, will they get canceled? I'm not sure yet. I would venture to guess that it would definitely not be both of them. If anything, only one would cancel. Also, of course, if you have access to Apple Pay on your app, I would definitely say use that. Makes for a super fast checkout, but it's not all about speed. So this release could go down 2 possible ways, and one of those ways is it's just a draw where you have 30 minutes to enter or so, and another way is where it's first come, first serve. You basically just try to be as fast as possible, but it's not really first come, first serve. I mean, the faster you get in, the better it is, the better your odds are, because people are being constantly selected, but it's more of like a random selection. It's like the faster you get in, you're put into a pool, and from that pool, you're being selected by a machine. And this algorithm is just randomly selecting tons of people who are gonna get the shoe. In the meantime, it will probably say pending or waiting in line on Sneakers app /website. So obviously it makes sense to try as many accounts as possible, even if it is first come first serve. So now let's talk about some resale predictions, because personally I'm not reselling this shoe. I need to wear this shoe, guys. I love this shoe. But for those of you who just want to resell it, I'll give you some of my thoughts, some of my predictions. These are just my opinions, so you don't have to listen to them. It's completely up to you. Even though the retail is kind of high, it's $250, basically profit is guaranteed on these, because we will probably be seeing very, very similar stock. You have to keep in mind that doesn't mean the price is going to be the same. Now look, I still think this shoe is going to sell for a ton, and it's going to be tons of easy profit if you want to sell this shoe, but it's not going to be the same as the OG, because the demand is just not going to be there. Of course, there's also 2 more of these shoes releasing, so I would say technically the supply is even higher, because even though it's 2 different silhouettes, the demand is decreased on each shoe because people have more options now. Plus, they're just not OGs. So if you're asking me what prices I have in mind, I would say the lowest possible, keeping expectations super low. I would say 400 to the high 300s. That's the lowest, considering that the OGs are going for around 800, depending on the size right now. If you're asking me for what the highest I'd say, the highest possible, probably like 600 to 700, but I don't think it'll hit that. I think it'll be lower, considering that these are the second release and there are 2 of them releasing. And if you're wondering, will the price drop on the original VaporMax Off-Whites? And I'm going to have to say no, the price is not going to drop. However, the amount the price is increasing by, because if you've been keeping track of all the Off-White Nike collab shoes, they've all been going up. I do think it will plateau, if not plateau, just slow down significantly, but I don't think the price will drop a noticeable amount. So these are just my opinions. Feel free to take them into account. Feel free to leave a like. Feel free to subscribe, whatever floats your boat. I really hope I get a pair of these. I hope you guys get a pair of these, but I will keep you updated as we get closer to the release. So feel free to subscribe, turn on notifications if you want, whatever. Have a fantastic day.
And that problem is transport. It takes very, very long, because Kazakhstan is big. Throw transport down the well.